Alexa, play some ambient starseed music.
Playing ambient sleep music on Amazon Music.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, brothers and sisters. This is Encounters, the morning edition. It's 9:02. We'll be on to about 10:15 a.m. We're now in 15 minutes. This is a shorter show than my nighttime show. Yes, I'm on early. Yes. Yep. So I try to get in on the morning during the day sometimes. So I catch you by surprise, which I probably did. So we're going to do from 9 till 10:15 a.m. East Coast. You're watching Encounters. For those that are finding this show for the first time and saying, "Oh, Encounters, what's that?" You know, for those people that are not on at night, you're watching a show that's usually on at night called Encounters, the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. Please follow if you're just just finding us. You're going to want to follow us. We're on usually nightly at 11 p.m. Eastern, and we do have quite a big audience here in the evening. So for new people here, welcome. If you're your first time watching us, you're watching a show that's out of this world. I'm also a host of WESU-FM's NPR Pacifica radio show for 21 years. It's called the Cosmic Eye Astro Command radio show. I'm also a contactee from the 60s, so I actually have background in the subject. I've seen hundreds of what I call spaceships, not UFOs, and also I'm not from here. I'm from Mars. I've come out of the closet 21 years ago. I use the term starseed. So when I use the term definition of starseed is someone who came from another world, who was born on Earth and had human parents, but eventually woke up to the original origin of where they came from consciously. So that would be where I'm at. And so yeah, I'm very much very out there. I don't care. I'm just very up, out of the closet. Like many things on Earth, when people came out of the closet for a specific lifestyle, now it's time for people that know that they've come from somewhere else, from other planets, to be, open about it. I'm really an advocate of starseeds becoming public. I think it's time for starseeds all over the world to be proud of who they are and realize that you have nothing to be afraid of by saying you came from planet X, Y, or Z. People need to know that we're not just merely human beings having a human experience, but we are space people in human form having an experience on Earth. And for many of the starseed, you are activated, motivated, and you're here to help the planet. I've met many, many starseeds over the last 30 years, and it happens to be a truth, So be proud of who you are. Don't care about what anybody thinks. And that's the way I am. I'm here to bust the matrix. So I came from the Ashtar Command. I worked on intergalactic communications with interplanetary communications before coming to Earth. I'm fully awakened. I know what I did before I came here, and I'm just here to bust people's limited belief systems. If I do run across those people, I will shatter their belief systems, and I have no problem doing it. Welcome to the show. Jermaine 381, welcome to the program. Everybody coming in here. Carlos, Roca, all the people. Hey, Johnny, good to see you, brother. Everybody coming in here. Pinel 64, Kayla, thank you for the roses. Let's see here. DHMY, Tracy. Let's see, am I missing anybody here? Good morning to everybody. Dan Cunningham, Duddy Do. Just saying good morning. JJ87, when are they coming for me? Well, they're not just coming for you. They're not coming for any one specific person. So let's deal with that question. When are they coming for me? It's not about me, it's about us. It's about all of us. It's about a collective us. It's about the planet Earth. It's about humanity. It's about all life forms. So I can answer your question. They're not coming for you, if you mean you specifically. There's no specifically you. What there is going to be is what they call contact. And contact is going to most likely happen in the next year and a half. The timeline of the original timeline was 2027. The timeline now has now been around the end of 2025 into 2026. So it's not a matter about JJ87 having contact. You gotta meditate. You gotta focus. You gotta get internally connected to your inner self. And I'm gonna take this person out. L, whatever they are. They're going bye-bye. See you, L, whatever you are, with the blah, blah, blah. You're gone, because this is an actual talk show. My TikTok is Information, JP Young. Well, now that you've gotten here, you're going to be taken out too. You see, I'm not only the host of the show, but I can also knock you right out. Bye-bye, JP. Have fun in the ethers. These people, you see, they don't understand. I run my own show here. I'm a professional broadcaster, and I can take them right out. You know, these insignificant little trolls that come in on here, not just on my TikTok, they do it to everybody. I don't care. I don't even get upset. I just take them right out. Bobby Angel, welcome to the show. So if you're a troll, I have my moderators on here. This show is well organized. And if you're a troll or want to go south, you're not going to be here. You'll be out of here in 2 seconds. So make your decision, you know, when you come here and say, oh, encounters, I think I'll be a troll. No, you won't. Commander and my moderators will have you out here in 2 minutes. You'll be blocked. So think before you act. That should be a bumper sticker. Think before you act. No, there is no Project Blueprint, Johan. Thank you for the question. That was started when the internet started. Somebody started it many years ago, and so people go with it. There is no blue beam, green beam, or red beam. It's just a diversion from people getting to the truth about extraterrestrial intelligence and about the fact that there are many space people and star beings from other worlds that have been coming here for billions of years. Although in our current history, most people in our current history, in our society, it seems like it's only been about 70, 80 years. But it's been for billions of years we've had stuff happening. So this person's saying misinformation, mini soda folk, you're going to be mini right now. Goodbye. That person's out. Boy, you know, it's like, I feel like I'm playing one of those games in an arcade, and I'm like knocking out the bad people, you know? So I feel like I'm in an arcade game right now, even though it's a talk show, and I'm having fun just knocking these people left and right out. You know, it's amazing. You know, so let's see what happens this morning. We're going to have a good show, but my moderators and myself, we'll just take them right out. And I have my moderators just know if someone makes any kind of negative comment, just block them. Don't even mute them. Just block them. You know, that's what we do here. See, the commander is proactive. I'm here to bust the matrix. I'm here to play games with people. You want to play games? Go in a video game somewhere, go off TikTok and have your game, right? Hey, Monica, good to see you. Any shows or conventions I can attend? Well, there are conferences. There are really good conferences. There's Contact in the Desert, which is happening in the West Coast. It's in Arizona. I think it's in California. You might want to check that out. Contact in the Desert is one that I can recommend. Hey, Johnny, good to see you, brother. So the one thing people that have to understand, I know a lot about the subject. I don't read books. I don't go to websites. The only thing I look for is original content in terms of people having videotaped spaceships all over the world and have, you know, good video footage. That is the only thing I really look at. In terms of everything else, I don't get my mind cluttered with other people's agendas, you know. I'm fully activated, motivated. I'm like a cosmic book. I can answer most questions, and if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. You know, honestly. Let me just bring this down a little bit. Okay. And I'll tell you, if I don't know the answers, I'll definitely let you know. You know? One of the things about this show is we don't get into politics. We don't get into paranormal discussions. That is a definite no. You have to be over 18. No kids on the show. No smoking, no drinking, no vaping, no drunks. None of that stuff. Again, we're actually running a show here. We're not running a free-for-all like on some TikTok things I've seen since I've been on here. since 2023. So if you come here, you're treated with respect. If we have you as a guest, we like to. Sometimes we'll have two people on. I usually like to do one-on-one interviews because you get a better idea of the person's story, and that's what we do here. So welcome to the show. If you're here for the first time in the morning, welcome. You're watching the most popular normally nighttime spiritual UFO talk show on social media, and my shows are also on my YouTube channel. You can watch all my past shows from night on YouTube on Ashtar Command Spaceship News. I'll repeat it. My YouTube channel is Ashtar Command Spaceship News. All our shows from our nighttime shows are on there, and you can watch some great interviews. We've interviewed people that have been abducted, people that are contactees, stuff that is really going on, you know. David and Goliath, good to see you. Good morning. And Jordan Bell, hey Jordan. Philip Maloa, I think it is. Welcome. Glenn D. So it's nice to see all the new people here finding our show here on this social medium. Sleepy, welcome Keisha, Sleepy. I try to acknowledge people when they come in, unlike other places, because we do a show here. We might not get you all here. Like I said, we don't talk about politics. I don't want to hear a thing about your support for an Earth-based candidate. They're all a bunch of liars anyway. And so I want you to realize when we do have, what's going on now is we're going to have a breakdown of the whole Earth-based system. What does that mean? I'm going to explain it and bust your matrix. And I know some of you really are passionate about your Earth-based politicians, but they're all a bunch of liars. And the space people don't care about the politicians. I don't even care about them. You know, they're part of that matrix of control on this planet, and that whole system is going to fall apart. You know, so if you put all your eggs in one basket, don't. You know, get ready for contact. Get ready for something for over 70 years that our governments of the world have been trying to prevent the public from knowing about, which is the existence of intelligent space beings from other planetary systems. Excuse me. So I know a lot about this subject, and I can speak without a prompter. You know, I know everything. I've had the experiences. I've had the sightings. I've interviewed many people on my radio show over 21 years. There's not much that I don't know. And I don't need to find out when the latest thing's going to happen. I'm a telepathic communicator. I communicate with human-type space people that are called from the Ashtar Command. I've been involved as a contactee since the 1960s, before some of you were even born in diapers yet. You know, so it's not like I'm a newbie here trying to learn something here. I am also a student, but I'm also a teacher, so to speak. I'm on. I thought you were on. I thought you were one. Can you explain what you mean by you thought I was one? Can you explain that? I'm not sure I get the gist of that question. Aware, beware. I thought you were one. Len Gaffney, good to see you, brother. Christine, 1959. Our show from last night will be posted. It is on my YouTube. I haven't uploaded it yet, but the show from last night will be on our YouTube channel between now and this evening. So we're only one show back. Red One, good to see you. Okay, JJ87, okay. So in terms, hey, April, when we will see them? Well, there's already ships appearing, and people are video recording sightings all over the world right now. But that is going to amp up by the year 2025. You're going to start seeing things quadruple in terms of sightings. It's just that many human beings are not aware of it because they keep on going to work, they go to school, they go to college, whatever they're doing. People are looking straight ahead instead of up in the sky. So if you want to know when they're coming, spend some time like 2 hours, find an area where it's quiet, less light pollution, and just sit there, learn how to meditate, focus. Meditation is not hard to do. And if you can meditate and just throw everything out around you, you have to put your mind at a calm state. And if you look up in the sky, say, I'd like to see, Christed beings of light from other planets appear to me. And you want to say it that way because you don't just want to say, I want to see something. I want to see anything. That's not the way it works. There has to be a discipline to what you're doing. I do C5 gatherings in Connecticut of the Ashtar Command contact group here. We'll be setting one up in August here in the United States. And I'm very well versed in what I do. And when we bring people together, if we see any, if we invite any activity from the stars, meaning spaceships, we make sure that the beings in those spaceships are beings of light, beings of love, people that are Christed cosmic beings of light. We're very disciplined in what we do, and you have to be. You're not going to say, hey, come on down here, whoever you are. That's not the way it works. You have to really learn what you're doing. Have you ever watched UNI? I'm not sure, Victor, what UNI is. Can you explain? Unified TV? No, I've never heard of Unified. I've never heard of that. The Gia Network in the United States, or the Gia Network on cable, I've watched that, but I don't watch really too much TV. JBL says some strange things are happening in the sky above Australia. JBL, let me see if you'd like to come up here. JBL in Australia, I think you're in Australia. If you'd like to come up and share a little bit about what's going on in Australia, you said some strange things are happening over the skies in Australia. I'd love to hear that story. Kate, welcome to the show. Dr. Drew, welcome, Dr. Drew. Rooter71, Robert Gendrone, welcome everybody to the show if you're just tuning in. And this is the way the show works and the way we do it in the evening. If you have a story related to having constant videotaping of the UFO phenomena, if you've been a contactee, and we've had many contactees on my show since last year, we'd love to hear your story. If you've been abducted by extraterrestrial intelligence and you need some help, I am activated to help people that have had the abduction experience. I'm able to do that. Like I said, I'm not merely here as a talk show host. I'm also fully activated, and I work, I'm from the Ashtar Command. If you're not familiar with that, the Ashtar Command is like the Galactic United Nations of Spiritual Planetary Systems of Peace. I'll put it that way simply so you understand it. I don't want to get too much into the jargon. Papa WG, good to see you. Good morning. So I'm glad you're here. You're watching an actual talk show on the subject. And C. Reed Speller, welcome. Why are they called Christed beings? Jojo, okay, great question. Because the ones that are Christed beings, they come from a high vibration of peace, and so they're Christed beings of consciousness. They're Christed beings of light. When you have people that have been abducted, no problem, JBL. When you have people that are abducted by negative ETs, they're lower vibrational beings, and they're not Christed being. They're basically like the Zeta Reticuli, the reptilians. They've done many things in conjunction with our government approving it for over 70 years, where they've abducted people, and those people that have been abducted have been implanted, and all kinds of stuff that shouldn't be happening has happened over the years. And I've actually helped many of those people that were abducted with the space people coming to their locations and actually taking out the implants. And my regular listeners, my regular viewers will tell you that what I've done, I do. I don't physically do it from here. I just send the spaceships over, and the space people come off the ships. They're about 7-8 feet tall. These are men and women that are human, and they come from the Ashtar Command level. So yeah, I'm very much involved in a lot of modalities here, but I'm also a different kind of UFO talk show host than you've seen on YouTube or whatever. I don't have a fancy studio. I have no crystal balls. I'm not using pendulums. I'm not channeling anything, and I'm not throwing cards up in the air. What you're seeing is what you get. You're getting the real deal here. And as you watch my show and get used to it, you're going to get addicted to something that is really good here, and also cosmic truth. Cosmic truth to me is the most important thing. Are reptilians a lower vibration than humans? Reptilians are of a very low vibration, and the reptilians have been involved with our government in over the years, over 70 years, just like the Zeta Reticuli system. The Zeta and the reptilians have been involved in the abductions. Hey, Jordan, thank you. Day one boot. Are you asking, are who invisible? Can you explain on the question? You say, are they invisible? Who is they? Can you be more specific? Oh, we got a fire truck going by here, folks. The ETs you send, Yes. They're only invisible. They're cloaked. They come off the ship cloaked. They're about 7-8 feet in length, and these are spiritual beings of light. They're human, just like us. They're men and women, just like us. The difference is their consciousness is at a much higher level than ours, and they come from other planetary systems beyond Earth, but they're human. Yes, are we fighting the reptilians? In a sense, yes, Susan Janey. I appreciate the question. So here's the deal. Over last year, 8 months ago, I started being activated to bring Ashtar Command ships to be people who I interviewed on my program who were having abduction experiences, being attacked by the reptilians in their homes. And we've actually, one story I will share, a person in Vermont, Mercury Man, last year had reptilians. He lives in a small country town in Vermont, and underneath his house was a cave, and he was being bothered by these reptilians that were living under his home, causing all kinds of havoc. So we sent a spaceship up to his location. We sent some of the space people to command into the cave, and we forced them out. We got the reptilians, and they were taken off planet, and they were sent off planet, never to come back. So that's one of the things I do as a talk show host, because I am working not just as merely a regular person. I am fully activated. I come from that level of consciousness, and I didn't come from this planet originally. I am what you call a starseed. And also I come from Mars originally, which is 10 to 15 million inhabitants that live on that planet. Contrary to all the stuff you hear about Mars, throw it out the window. The current Mars that exists, that we see in the sky, is a planet that has an atmosphere. 10 to 15 million people live on the planet, and there's some people living on the surface. They have vegetation. Most of the waterways are still within the planet versus, on the surface of the world. There's also a polar cap on Mars, just like there is an area of Earth where it's much cooler than it is warmer. Will the reptilians be forced out of our government? I don't know. Again, when it comes to reptilians in our government, I don't know who they are or what they are. I mean, and that's all stuff that's been internet related by people writing websites over the years. Unless I physically can see that there are reptilians in the government, I would say that there are reptilians have been working with the Pentagon for over 70 years in, abducting people. That I can tell you. In terms of individual people being a reptilian in the government, I couldn't tell you that or verify that, because there's no way of verifying it, because it's all based on other people's projections and websites, and none of these people are, whatever. But the reptilians are being taken out in terms of being captured. They tend to hide. They try to hide, but they're being captured. Same thing goes for the Zeta that have been involved in abductions over the last 70 years on Earth. It's all being taken care of by the forces of light, so to speak. And eventually, before contact happens, most of that, or not all of that, will be stopped. So there's a lot of work going on now. And again, these beings, reptilians, they're trying to hide as most as they can because they want to still be here. The reptilians go after people, individuals. They've abducted people. They'll try to hide out and like if they have a home, they'll try to hide out somewhere, either in the home or around the home. But they're very sneaky that way. They're very sneaky. But they are being, like I said, a matter of fact, I've done a lot of work where when we sent spaceships in where people were being abducted or attacked by these reptilians. This is true stories from my viewers who've actually seen it. We've actually captured the reptilians, and by the time we're done with that person, helping them, and our space people leave their home, they have no more problems anymore. They feel better. Their home feels better. It's way, way different once we get through the experience of helping people. And so I'm not just a talk show host. Like I said, again, I am here to bust the matrix and help people. When I interview people, if they've been abducted, we will help them if they'll let me. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, Ilana. The Turians work with the Ashtar Command. They are part of the grouping of the Ashtar Command. You don't want to be abducted, JJ87. Abductions are no good. See, you have a lot to learn. You do not want to be abducted. What you want to do is learn how to meditate, use ambient meditation music on your Lex app or whatever. Learn to meditate or go on YouTube and listen to meditation music. You really need to slow down and take it slow, because obviously when you say I want to be abducted, you need a little help there. You're going to need to slow down a bit. The Zetas, for the most part, yes. The Zetas were allowed by our government back then. General Eisenhower was president. The Zeta were allowed to abduct human beings in return for the government wanting the Zeta's technology, that called reverse engineer technology. So they got the reverse technology. Why? Since these many years, the Zeta were involved in experimentation and abduction of humans. The abductions are kind of stopping now. There's still a little bit of it going on. It pretty much stopped in the early 2000s. Robert Concepcion. Why are they abducting? They would abduct people because they want to, their societies, like for Zeta, the Zeta reticuli system used to be human like we are. They became very advanced. They had all the technology. They got super advanced, and they ended up basically messing up their planets with nuclear radiation and all kinds of stuff. They had to go underground, and they had to transform their physical form into what they are now. When you see, if you ever see a picture of a Zeta, they usually have a big head and skinny features, humanoid type features. But they were once like us. They were human, but they ended up messing up their planetary systems. And they abducted humans because they want our DNA to have a hybrid creation of the Zeta and the human DNA in order to survive, because they messed up. So that's why they abducted humans. So that's why if you hear documentaries about the Zeta abducting humans, or people that say they've been abducted over the years, they'll say, "Oh, I saw my child, but I couldn't, take the child with me," because that was an abduction where they interbred with humans and interbred with our DNA in order to produce a child that would exist after the Zeta die out. They would still exist. So over 70 years they've been doing this, but they messed up their own worlds. They were once, before they became really advanced, they were human. They lived on the surface, but then they messed up their whole worlds, and they had to morph into what they are now, which is basically skinny looking. Some of them are short, some are tall. They messed up their whole planetary system. The hybrids aren't perfected. I would say you're probably right, but the hybrids are supposed to be what would be the future of the existence of the Zeta, is to have these hybrid children with human over the 7 years of the abductions and so forth. That's their hope, but they have no right to abduct anybody because it's against universal law to abduct anybody. But they've done it. There's no such thing as an upside down. I'm not sure what you mean by upside down. Let's see here. A question from Missy Angels. Why would Zeta visit a child on Earth? Well, they're not visiting a child. They've actually abducted humans, adults, over the years, and they actually, from the abductions and having a relationship with a human man or a woman, mostly one or the other, they created a hybrid child that has Zeta DNA and human DNA, because their worlds have they messed up their worlds. Do they communicate with telepathy? They probably can. Most of the space people can do that. So yeah, that's a great question. Telepathy is primarily 90% of what, if you do have a contact with intelligence from beyond Earth, it's usually telepathic. Oh, it's above, so below. Okay. Hey, Alicia, good to see you. Yes, I think so. Okay. And so we do interview people. I'm appreciative of all your questions. I know a lot of people have questions here. Is there anybody here who's been having any experiences? I always like to answer my audience. Have you had a positive encounter with spiritual beings that are human, or have you been abducted? Don't be afraid to tell me about it, because, like I said, I have a lot of knowledge here, and I'd be happy to, kind of bring you on here. You have to be over 18. No kids on the show. No cursing. No vaping. No smoking. No drugs. No paranormal discussion. We're strictly in the galactic UFO spiritual area here on the show. Hey, Mercury Man, good to see you, brother. Good morning. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. And I think we might have someone to come up here. Smith Music Angel. Let's see. Smith Music Angel. No. Smith Must something. Let me just see here. And maybe sure I get my volume up here. Hopefully the TikTok is working today. Sometimes TikTok is not working. Smith, I think Mustang. Good morning. Okay. All right. I heard all kinds of noise and stuff. That's probably it. I heard feedback. So if you want to be on the show, hey, Brendan, good to see you. If you want to be on the show, you must be over 18. No children on the show. No smoking, no vaping, no drugs, no drunks. No paranormal discussion. We're strictly here, and we'll cover everything from the Agartha Network to people who are documenting their spaceship contacts or UFOs. We'll also have people here that have been having positive experiences, people that have had experiences with the mer people or with the fairies or with the Bigfoot. Let's see. So we get into a lot of these different things on the program. Our regular show, just to let you know, if you're new to the program, I'm usually on at night at 11 with the show, and we have a big audience in the evening, but we're trying to do some morning stuff here too. I've seen the light. I've also seen the portals to another dimension. And he said, I'll see you again. That one guy. So that one guy, I'm interested in what you're saying. When you've seen the portal to another dimension, when you say entity, was it a space being that you say? When you say entity, can you explain who the entity was? Who was the entity? Excuse me. So you'll find me asking people here a lot of questions. I want to see where they're going with their information. One big bright light. Interesting. That one guy, did you think that the portal that was open was into, when you say another dimension, like another level of light? Hey, James, good to see you. Can you tell us about what you felt about 20 feet wide? Let me bring you up here, that one guy. So I want you to, if you can, come up here, and I'll have you on as a guest on the show. It's always nice to be able to have that conversation if you wish to come up here. You got to be over 18. That's the other thing I should mention. So you have to be over 18, no kids on the show, and some basic rules here. Hey, okay, that one guy. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, James. How are you?
It's actually CmdrAleon, so it's good to see you. What's your first name?
My name is Tony.
Hey, Tony. Nice to talk to you. And whereabouts in the country are you?
I'm in the South, baby. I love the weather down here. I'm in Florida South.
Florida South. Okay. So I was looking at your comment, which I found interesting. You talked about this entity and this light. Can you go into? You said, "I've seen the light. I've also seen the portal to another dimension." Entity said, "I'll see you soon." Can you explain that to our audience? What you mean by that?
The entity did not say, "I'll see you soon." Basically, what has happened is, I'll start at the beginning. I walk my dogs out into my backyard so they can go to the bathroom. So my dogs are doing their dog thing, and I'm just standing there watching them in the backyard. And as always, I pray to the Lord because I'm still alive. Woohoo. Well, the dogs got done doing their thing. They walked around to the front yard. I started to follow them. As I'm following them, I'm on the side of my house before I get to the front yard. and a bright light flashed, and I thought it might have been lightning because I'm down here in Florida. And
Right.
okay, so I look up to find out where's the storm at and what's going on. Please don't strike me by lightning, God. So
Right.
therefore, I look up, and approximately about a mile and a half away to the south of my house, I see this bright light, and it's just moving in angles that are not appropriate for an aircraft or a drone or anything of that aspect. So I watched it for approximately 3 minutes, and I kind of looked at it, and it started coming my direction from the south going north. As I'm watching this, I figured, oh, well, he's going to fly right over the house because I'm pretty much right down the road from an airport, so I see them all the time. But this was not like an aircraft I've ever seen. So I started to wave at it as it was flying over my house, approximately 100 feet away from me. It flashes me with a light. As it releases me, I say to it, I thought you were supposed to take me with you, as a joke. It flew off to the south, and a portal opened in the sky, literally about 500 feet away from me, approximately 70 feet off of the ground. And it was a circle with spokes that looked like a black and white screen TV. You know, that fuzzy back in the day when you got Channel 3 and it was fuzzy black and white style all the time.
Right.
Yeah, but those spokes were only about maybe 3 or 4 feet wide, but looked like spokes coming out of a circle that was solid black. As the light approached that, the entity said, I'll see you again, and then disappeared inside the portal, and the portal closed, and everything was normal again. It was weird, bro. Weird.
Right. So I can explain, see, when you learn about who I am, I read energy from people's stories. I've done it for a long time. So I'm going to give you some information here, because that bit of piece of information you've given me, when it said it's going to see you in, whatever it said, understand something. So it was a spaceship. And what they did is, and this is historically, I've talked to people that have had the same experience. They can communicate to you. When you heard the word, I'll see you again soon, did you hear that in your consciousness? How'd you hear that?
It sounded like I yelled it at myself. Literally, it sounded like me inside my brain, in the back of my head, from a voice that I can do, like loudly. If I were to scream at somebody, I'll see you again. That's basically what it sounded like. Very deep,
and that's
very loud in the back of my head.
Well, they actually utilized your voice to tell you, because you know your own voice, so they did it that way. So what they did is, you actually had contact, even though you weren't physically on their ship.
Oh no, the physicality part is when the light flew above my head, like literally maybe 100 feet. They flashed a light at me. Boy, I could feel that inside my soul.
Right.
It was beautiful, nothing but love and a big ass hug. It was awesome.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So these space people are actually human. I would say somewhat part of the angelic realm, but they are actually they are space people.
Dude, I tell you, it felt more along the angelic realm style, bro. It was crazy good.
That's why I said that, because people don't realize the angelic world, there are men and women from the angelic world that have families, and that's, if people get out of the religious world, I know a lot about that part of it. And so when I'm hearing your story, they were definitely angelic men and women, but they were space people. They do come from another planetary system.
I can't, excuse me for interrupting you. However, I cannot verify if there were multiple entities inside that, what you call a craft. However, what I saw was a small light. It was approximately maybe 20 feet wide and only about 5 to 7, maybe 10 feet tall.
Right.
But it was
Right.
nothing but a light. There was no
Right.
anything, no bolts, no rivets, no seams,
Right.
no nothing.
That's right.
It was just a bright light, and it felt
Absolutely correct.
only like one entity was in there. That's what I felt in my soul.
Right.
That's all.
So let me explain something. So when we perceive things, like when we perceive an airplane to have more than one person, and we have that nuts and bolt airplane, you'll see a jet go by taking off at LaGuardia or whatever airport, or Miami International, whatever it is.
Yeah, but
We
I've never
know
had an
that-
airplane touch me like that, bro.
No, I know that, but I'm not trying to make the analogy of an airplane. What
I
I'm
know. I'm
saying
making
is,
a joke with you.
I
I'm
know
just
you
having
are.
fun.
I know you are. So what our perception is of what is considered small to us, if you were to be taken by that being into that light, inside that light would be way bigger than the perception of our reality of what it looks like on the outside.
Oh, that's
the
a
reason I
that's a
say
very strong possibility. I agree with you 100% on that,
Yeah.
my friend.
Yeah, I'm just giving information because that's what I'm getting. So yeah, it was exactly as you say it is. If they had invited you to physically
That's what they allowed
go
me
in,
to see.
yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
You had a very beautiful experience.
Very.
But if you want to have it again, I always
yes,
tell
I
people
do.
I interview, all you have to do is just focus on meditation, sit down in a quiet space, and just remember. You remember every detail of what happened. Say, I appreciate you coming here and communicating with me that way for the first time. I'm ready to do another communications, more elaborate communications, and I really do want to meet you, and I'll really feel a sense of love and understanding. And if you put
Nothing
it that
but love
way,
every day, my friend.
yeah, that's it. You are the kind of person, and that's why I think you're having the experience. You are we call a star seed. If you're not familiar with that, yeah, we're all having the human experience. I work every day. I do human things every day, but we're more than just human. You're more than just having a human experience. You're having a relationship now with these beings that I believe are angelic, but they're also space people. They have families too, believe it or not. And I think
We
if
are
you
all one big family, my friend. We are all connected, period. And I see that. I have seen that since I was a baby, and I don't know how else to explain it, but we
Right.
are all one.
Right. See, you got it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So I know that you can have the experience again with them. And I think when people tell me they've had experiences with space people that were good, I say, have you had it again? No. I said, why not? Because it's up to once they're doing it, they're trying to get your attention. Now that they got it, now it's your turn to make the next step, meaning meditate, just get in a state of taking a deep breath a few times, breathe out of your nostrils, and say, I wish to connect with you again. I'm ready for more further communications. And I know you can do it because that's the kind of energy vibe I get from you, is that you're a very positive, loving person. And I think you can do that. You won't have any
Willing to
problems.
do it and being able to do it are two different things, because it scares the shit out of me, my friend.
Well, it might scare you, but at the same time, on another level, you understood that it was the most beautiful experience that you've had, correct?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So here's the deal. One in my workshops, what I teach people to do is get out of your head, meaning your brain. Your brain's going to mess things up. If you listen to your brain, the human brain will take every effort to try to stop you from doing something that you know is really beautiful.
If you were to ask my fiance, she says, I shouldn't listen to my brain. I should listen to her all the time. She's always right. She ain't never wrong. And don't I ever forget it.
Yeah, I gotcha. So now I'm going to take it a step further. I gotcha. So what you want to do is listen to your heart. Now, I'm not talking, when I say heart,
Yes,
I mean
sir.
not the physical heart, but
Yes,
the
sir.
spiritual heart.
Absolutely,
You need to listen
sir.
to your spiritual being, your higher self. Go with the higher self. We all have it. Everybody, there's not one person that doesn't have a higher self. But most times we don't go and listen to the higher self, which connects to our cosmic self, which connects to our star family. So I want you to try to go into the inner part of yourself, the inner reflection, and make communications with them again, and let me know what happens. Because you can do this, and you just have to let your brain sit there and tell the brain, I control my brain. I tell my brain, no, you're not going to be doing this today. When people learn to control their brain, then they can go into the spiritual level of cosmic understanding and connect with their star family. And I believe you've already had the connection. It's just a matter of furthering that connection if you wish to do it.
And then, since you've made those statements, I believe that the conscience is connected, just like you said, to our emotions and our feelings and our actions. Therefore, if you learn to control your conscious, you can control your actions, your speech, blah, 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 like I just said.
Right,
However,
right.
I'm not a psychologist. I don't even play one on TV. But yes, I
Right.
agree with pretty much everything you just said.
Yeah, and I try to keep it, like I said, I'm not just a human being, but I also, go out and enjoy life with my wife and my family and go to the beach. But I'm also here from another world, and I also came here awakened as a starseed when I was a kid in the 60s and had contact with space people in a flying saucer that were human in light blue space outfits looking out my brother's window in a cul-de-sac in Long Island when I was a kid. So because I have this background, and fully activated, I can answer a lot of questions like yours and your stories. I love hearing them because, that interaction is really important for me to help understand people. And
Yeah. Well, that interaction only happened a couple of years ago, and it's like, okay, that aspect, the story that I told you about that one, is the only time that has ever happened. However, I have seen light entities in the sky flying around my house before, and then they would fly off after I observed them. However, it's happened not day to day or month to month, or it's happened year after year. I'll see something, but this is like when I was young, like you say, when you were a child, up until last year and a half ago, it happened, and I haven't seen any since. But like I said, it's never gotten that drastic until the last one. So it's like kind of weird. And now I'm just kind of like stepping back, like, whoa, this is kind of freaky, bro.
Well, don't look at it as being freaky. Look at it as being blessed. You see, this is the thing.
New and different.
Right. Your mind is telling you it's freaky. So don't listen to your mind. That's a mind perception of the brain. What you need to do is refocus yourself.
I'm not used to it, is what I mean, sir. I've never experienced it, sir.
Right. That's why I'm responding the way I am. I know that. I know right before you said that. I know you've never experienced that before. But the beautiful thing is, they want you. They're trying to tell you we're here, and in whatever way they can get your attention, they understand they're way more advanced than us. The basic human understanding. So it's not just about a spaceship. They can appear any which way they want. That's how beautiful it is. And I think you should take the initiative, and hopefully you will, through meditation, and like whether it's being near a lake or something, or a river or a mountain or wherever, find a quiet space and just let yourself sit there and say, okay, I'd love to connect with you again. And
absolutely. And the comment that you got down there by the one individual with the A on their name, I can't read the rest of it. I don't have my reading goggles on. We were trying to draft you, LOL. Yeah, you can draft me all you want to. I've already been drafted by the military. I am a disabled veteran.
Yeah. See, yeah. So, but I definitely appreciate, man, being here. Definitely put some effort into that. I know that if you do exactly what I'm suggesting, you'll have some regular contacts. You'll get to know each other. The space people will get to know you more. There's a connection there. Like I've had people that met their star family who have told me their stories where they came to them, and there's relationships that we build because we're not really all from here. This is a human experience we're having, whatever it is, wherever you live.
Oh, I do know there's different planes of existence. I do know that.
Right. There you go. So you're ahead of the ball game. Not everybody does. So take the initiative. Take the time to build a relationship with these what I call angelic space people.
Right. And, well, I will let you know. I will let you know the moment that happened. I have dropped, not literally completely dropped, but I have allowed my meditation sets to significantly drop. Because I am slightly taken aback with all this new information. It is weird, like I said before, but you said, hey, don't think of it like weird. But my version of weird is I'm not like a lot of other human beings, as you already can tell. However,
Right.
I do have a moment where I have to step back and look at the big picture before I make another approach at said
Right.
whatever it may be.
Right.
Therefore, I am a little taken aback since that occurred, and you and this contact that we're having right now is the first time I've gone this deep into telling anybody about this situation.
Wow.
And
Well, I feel honored,
my family already knows I have paperwork that says I'm crazy. However, that is because I'm a damaged veteran and the PTSD kicks in and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot that goes with that entire situation. However,
Right.
when I've got other people telling me that I know and speak to daily, that's not real. It does not exist. Well, just because they didn't see it does not mean
Right.
that it does not exist in my head. And
You're
with
right.
you telling me the stuff that you've already presented to me with the information that you have provided, is like, okay, I can calm down a little bit now. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate your effort, sir. Now, as you speak to me, I think of going back to meditation. However, it's going to take me a little time to get deep back into meditation because of
Right.
said situation. It was weird to me.
Well, you have to take your time. I mean, you can't force it, but I know that you will do it, and take your time doing it, and don't listen to what anybody else says. If you have
I
people around
don't.
you that are naysayers,
I don't.
I'm glad you don't.
I don't.
Because let me
They
tell you
still
something.
think I'm
30
crazy
years
and I don't
later,
care.
30 years later on planet Earth, 30 years ago, there were more people like that. 30 years later, those people are like a minority, meaning there are very few of them. And if you watch my show and start watching my show at 11
Oh,
o'clock at
I've been
night,
watching you, not daily or anything like that, but I have watched you more than once during a
oh,
week.
you have, okay, yeah. So you're going to see that more people are open. There are many people that have come out of the closet that are starseed, people that are having experiences both negative and positive. I've dealt with every single situation here.
Mine
and
have all been positive, sir.
Yeah. No, I know yours have. Yeah. So I'm saying is, people are ready for what's happening. People are the people that have their heads in the box, so to speak. Hey, either they're going to keep their heads in the box while you progress and go forward, or they're eventually going to open their eyes and say, "Oh, wow, what's going on here? What's all this
It's
stuff
like that.
going on?"
It's like that ostrich with their head in the sand, man.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Right. Well, I want to appreciate you for coming on here, man, and telling your story on encounters. It's been a blessing knowing you. You're a funny guy too. You have a sense of humor. We appreciate you.
Hey, like you said earlier, nothing but love in this world. We are all one family.
Absolutely correct. And I also appreciate you for your service. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I can't wait till you come back and hope you can. I can't wait till you come back in the future when you're ready and you tell me, Commander, I finally made contact with him again.
Oh, that would be awesome sauce. I will give it a shot, sir.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
Have a good one, Bubba.
All right, take care. Let me just do this here. Let me press my screen. Here we go. And that was a beautiful story. This is what we do here on my show, Encounters. We honor everybody. We hear their story. We never put anybody down. We want to get to cosmic truth. And how do we get to that? How do we get to disclosure? By hearing your stories. I have a lot I can share with you, and I do. But we love hearing your stories. If they're real, we want to hear them, And that's what we do. You're very welcome, brother. This is how I treat people here. There are people that have these big UFO shows with studios. They interview the former general, the former Air Force colonel, and that's their way of supposedly getting disclosure. But to me, disclosure is here on this show. We've had our friend in the DOD who's been on. We're going to be doing hopefully some more with our friend in the Department of Defense. She has high security clearance, and we have a lot of contacts in a lot of areas. But most of all, there are things that you will learn on my show that are way different than anything you've ever seen on YouTube or anywhere else. We happen to be here. I'm a professional broadcaster for 21 years on Ashtar Command Radio, Cosmic Eye Radio, on NPR Radio in Connecticut here in the U.S. So if you want to be a guest, Have you had an encounter? Alexa, yes. My encounter was in the 1960s with spacemen and women on a spaceship with a flying saucer type craft with an energy system in the middle, like a light or something. And that's when I was a kid. Izan, I think Izan, that's it. Recent guest, Izan, has been on our show before. Let's see here. I got a bunch of requests here. How come astrophysicists claim UFOs? How come no? I don't know about the astrophysicists if they claim UFOs don't exist. I really studied that part of the world in terms of that whole genre, so I can't really answer the question on that. Vertible. There might be some that do believe they exist, but again, I'd have to do some studies on that to answer that question. And again, if you want to be a guest on the show, you have to be over 18, no children, excuse me, no paranormal discussion, no drinking, no vaping, no cursing. And again, we keep it really focused on the whole spiritual UFO area, be it a contactee, an abduction, Bigfoot, the mer people, fairies, the people that live in the Agartha network of our planet, known as the subterranean cities of the Agartha network. We get into all these areas, and you're a great part of it. Our audience is a really big part of that. So if you're over 18 and you have a story to tell, we'd like to hear from you. Double Dog Runner says these were physical beings, human. Yes, they were human, about 7-8 feet tall, in light blue space outfits. So Charlie Curry says, why won't they come out with the truth? Are you talking about, Charlie, the government? You talking about the government, Charlie? Happy thoughts. I have gone through the Merkaba state off planet over the years in my current adult life. And that some people might call it astral projection, but there's a thing called the Merkaba. If you study the Merkaba, the human being can be sleeping and go into a Merkaba state, which is like a Merkaba is like a spaceship created by thought. James says he's heard many Agartha stories lately. Yeah, the government is not going to, and if anyone thinks that any good world government's going to admit to the fact that the whole thing with the ETs exist and that people are visiting our planet from other worlds, it's not going to happen. The Pentagon started last year an internal group studying UFOs, and they have a website, and every time I go on there, I don't see anything that I consider like jaw-breaking or like something that's going to really make me say, wow, they're actually going to tell us the truth. So this show has been a place for disclosure. I always pride myself in encounters being a place of disclosure. And the reason why I say word disclosure is because since the last year when I came on here creating this show, I've interviewed so many people that have had contact with plasma beings, with tall spacemen and women, people that have been abducted by negative ETs that I've helped prevent that from happening. If there's disclosure, it's always based on the true stories of the people I've interviewed. All my shows are on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News, so become a subscriber there. My YouTube channel is a really good place to watch all my previous shows. If you're new to the program, you'll hear some great interviews we've done with people. And so don't depend on the government for disclosure. I will actually inform people here about something for newbies that don't know what's going on. So I have a friend and myself up in Maine, not in Maine, in Vermont, up in northern Vermont near the Canadian border. I interviewed her last year. Like I was just her name was Friends with Fairies 1111. When I interviewed her, she had stories about the fairies. So we did an interview with her. Then as time goes on, I find her being taken off planet on a spaceship. And not just once, since last year, over 44, 45 times already. And she lives in a place where it's remote. It's a rural area in Vermont and northern Vermont near the Canadian border. And she's had contact with human space people that are about 70 feet tall, just like us, beautiful looking people. All right. And I come to find out, because I've already been awakened, I've already been involved in being who I am. I've always stated that I come from the Ashtar Command, that she had contact with her space family. So you have a human family. So let me put it this way. You all know you have biological cousins and relatives, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers, right? But how many of you understand that that's not it? That you actually, if you remember you come from the stars, that you come from another planet, you have actually called star family. Meaning you have a biological cosmic mom and dad somewhere in the universe on a spaceship. You might have a brother or sister, maybe two siblings, whatever, but they exist off planet. Okay? So my friend in Vermont had and has had contact with her biological family. Not only that, and it's a story that someday could be made into a movie, on that same ship, my biological cosmic family exists, and then we find out the story is that we've known each other for a long time. This is before coming to Earth, all right? So I have a mother and father, two sisters and a brother that are human on a spaceship of the Ashtar Command. This is not channeled information. This is not astral projected. This is real contact information. I'm sharing this with you because a lot of you are new to the show. This story is something you should know. There's going to be contact, not from the government. The government has nothing to do with disclosure of the truth. They never will. They're going to dangle you along and make you think, okay, we'll give you some information. We'll show you a video from one of the Air Force jets of what we call a TikTok. We'll show you that video. And then everyone can go back to sleep and go to work. That's what they want you to do. On my show, I can tell you, and this is not channeled information, I'm going to tell you some information here. Within the next year and a half, there's going to be what you call contact. The government knows it. All the different big governments know about it, be it China, France, England, you name it, Spain, all these countries, they all know about it. They have different departments within their governments that are very much keenly aware of this. Okay? And when we talk about contact, we're talking about finally having physical contact with the star people. Okay? It's not going to be contact with negative ETs. That's being stopped completely. That's being cleaned up. The contact's going to be with people from the stars, men and women. Many of them are taller than the average human. Okay? And when this contact happens, it's going to be a slow transfer of the way we live now to a different way we're going to live. It's going to take time. So it's not going to be abrupt change. Everything will still be here. We're going to change into a much better place. Okay? And that place is going to be a place where we exist together. We finally are connecting with many, many planetary worlds of peace. And there's going to be this relationship where we'll eventually be interplanetary travelers once we are now in that state of consciousness to live amongst our brothers and sisters from other planets. Okay, up until now, we've not been able to do that. But it's going to shift. Things are going to shift. Some people already know it. Many people here are asking questions about disclosure. I want you to know that disclosure is not going to come from Washington, D.C. or England or anywhere else. It's going to come from above. It's going to come from the star people. That's going to be the disclosure when it happens. They're going to appear. You're going to see them. They're going to make contact. I can't make it any clearer than that. Dr. Stephen Greer knows about this. He already knows there's something going on. There's a few people that are keenly aware of the fact that there's going to be direct contact soon. Okay? I met Dr. Stephen Greer back in the early 90s at a UFO conference before he was well known. And some of you internally know, and some of you have had contact with positive beings from space who are contactees. You already know that there's going to be contact. There are many of you who might not have had contact yet. You're going to eventually learn more about the fact that there's going to be contact. So you need to prepare. That's why it's so important when I do this show. I'm now more and more telling people, center yourself. Learn how to meditate. Get focused. Center, center, center. Forget about all the other garbage around you. Center yourself. The most important thing people can do in the next year and a half is get themselves together. On a cosmic spiritual level, get yourself together. Be prepared is the best thing I can tell you to do. That's the most important thing every human being can do, is be prepared. And not many people are. And that means you have to be disciplined. You have to be really disciplined and focused. Find that space, that place on the top of a mountain. I don't care where it is. Learn how to really meditate. If you don't know how to meditate, learn how to do the meditation. Learn how to get within. Forget your brain. Let your brain out, control your brain and tell your brain, stop, I need to center. Can you do that? Can you center yourself? Because like I said, the governments aren't going to tell you the truth. They're never going to tell you the truth. They're about keeping the truth away from the people of this planet and the public. What they like to do is control the narrative for the next 100,000 years. Essentially, what they want to do is tell you, hey, we gave you a little bit of stuff here. Don't worry about it. We have it under control. And then they're going to try to do stuff that is going to make it look like the space people are here to take over a planet. And that's not the case. You're going to hear all kinds of garbage on the internet. And then Hillary's been there on websites and all this stuff on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Don't believe it. Don't buy into it. It's all a bunch of lies. The governments know people use TikTok and YouTube. I'm sure they have government agents that go on here and create stuff to make people confused. Don't buy into it. Don't ever buy into it. You know what I mean? Let me see. I'm going to go. Yeah, Rachel says, government tells the opposite of truth. Yes, the voicing your ego helps. Double Dog Run says, if their frequency is higher than ours, does the planet need to raise for them to return? No. The whole solar system right now, 30 years later, the vibrational, thank you, the vibration of our Earth and the solar system is way, way higher than it was 30 years ago. So we don't have to raise the planetary vibration. It's already there. What we have to do is focus and meditate, Double Dog, to be ready for contact. That's all we have to do. But not everybody's doing it. We have billions of people that need to do this, but if they're not aware that they have to do this, they won't know. Thank you so much for the heart. I am Evermore. I've seen a star person. It was magical, but they didn't communicate, just observed me and left. I am Evermore. I am Evermore. I want to bring you up here. I'm just scrolling the comments now. If you would come up, you'll be my final guest for the morning. I'm on at 11 o'clock at night, which is my bigger show. I'm on longer. I am Evermore. I've seen a star person. It was magical, but they didn't communicate, just observed me. That's interesting. I'd love to hear your story. I'm Evermore. I just sent you a friend request. Press the multi-guest option and we'll bring you up here to tell your story. I think everybody, if you're still here, I'd like to hear your story. I've seen UAPs. I'm ready for direct contact. Rachel says, let's see here. You're watching Encounters, a show that's out of this world, the morning show. We're usually on at 11 o'clock at night. We'll be on at 11 tonight. We usually do over a 2-hour show in the evening. I'm also a radio host of 21 years of the Cosmic Eye Astrogram Radio on WESUFM.org, NPR Pacifica Radio, and I'm a contactee as well. Hey, Gerard, good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Kabashi, welcome, Willie T. And that person might have left, the person I wanted to bring up here. I want to make sure I'm following that person. Yeah, I'm playing music, Alicia, in the background. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure that I'm following Evermore. I am following her. I don't know that she's on here. I am Evermore. Are you still with us? I don't believe they're here. Let's see here. Oh, one guy. You'll get rid of the ego. You'll do it, brother. Let's see here. How quickly can one get in contact with the star race if focused? Essentially, everyone has a star family happy thoughts. It takes time. I can't tell you how long it would take. I think every individual is different. But the first thing you need to do is Om and You are the two main meditation words, that the vibrational patterns of You or Om, and then take deep breaths, like 3 or 4 deep breaths. Breathe out of your nostril. Use some higher vibrational ambient music, space music. And if you do 20 or 30 minutes of meditation a day and focus on that and say, I wish to connect with my Christed star family, eventually it'll happen. I can't tell you when, though, to be honest. Double Dog says, my wife and I see them a lot. They will light up for us, which is new, but never come down. Double Dog, you'll have to come on our show tonight. If you're on at 11 o'clock, we'll have you on as a guest. Hey, Kabashi, we're doing well. Baby Brooklyn 1 New York says, I have weird dreams. If you're on tonight, okay, this person, Aaron, we need to take this person off of Encounters. Aaron is too stuck in the 3D world. He says, you're deceived. Only if Aaron knew that you are deceived, Aaron, by your belief systems of the 3D world. Bye-bye, Aaron. Have a good trip. Dark Video, I've seen 3 ships at one time, but every time I try to tell someone, describe them, it's blurry. Why? Because when you, if you videotape any of the stuff that you're seeing, let me bring you up here for a minute. Dark Video, come on up here. I want to try to get some information from you here.
Yeah, I'm him.
Hey, Dark Video, what's your first name?
Wes.
Wes, good to see you. I'm going to turn my thing down here for a minute. Too loud. All right, so you've seen 3 ships at one time, but every time I try to tell somebody and describe them, it's blurry. Now,
Yeah.
Did you record these ships?
No, I didn't record them or anything. It was just something I seen. And when I looked over to my daughter, I was bringing her home from work, and I looked over to my daughter. I said, "Look over here, look at this." And then when we looked back, there was nothing there. But when I first seen it, I just seen it, and I didn't even think to grab my phone to record it or anything. And
Yeah.
every time I try to describe it to someone, I can describe exactly what everything happened. But when I go to the ships to look at the ships in my memory to try to describe them, it's just like blurry.
Oh, the memory
Like
of it
weird.
is blurry. So your
Yeah,
memory's blurry on it. Okay.
yeah,
So now I understand. Okay. So yeah, I mean, look, when sometimes we have sightings of these spaceships, and it just happens, and you're not ready to record it, and then they disappear. You're not alone. There are people that have tried to record things, and then they're gone. So you're not alone. You're not alone at all. Actually, it's pretty common that it happens. So have you had any other activity since that point?
No, nothing like that. I've had other paranormal things happen, but nothing
Yeah, we don't get into the
seeing
paranormal, but
UFOs.
on the ET stuff, UFOs, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing. I did I have stories like my grandma's and my great aunt told me that they seen a spacecraft going to Myrtle Beach one time in South Carolina.
Interesting. And what year was that for them? Did they say?
Yeah, it was in the early '80s.
Okay, interesting. Myrtle Beach is in also the Bermuda Triangle. It's in that triangular area of the Bermuda Triangle, and there's been a lot of activity regularly off the coast of the Atlantic in Myrtle Beach. I'm very familiar with that area. Yeah. People have documented tons of UFO sightings out there.
Yeah, this is like on the way, like I guess probably from the way you describe it, it's out there where it's barren. Like when you, I'm sorry, when you go down that way from where we live in North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, there's
Mm-hmm.
a spot you go through like this near the Green Swamp area and stuff, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that was the area in which they seen it in. So
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Well, I appreciate your coming up here. It clarifies a lot of things by actually physically interviewing you on the show here. So I appreciate you for tuning in to the show. Hopefully you'll catch us on our regular show at night at 11 o'clock.
yeah, man, I come on every once in a while and just watch and everything. So
No, good. Well, glad to have you as part of the audience, and I appreciate your coming up here and sharing the story.
yeah, man.
All right, I'll let you down, and thank you so much here. We're getting close to near 10:30, so I think we're going to call it a morning. I have to get out of here, but tonight after 11 o'clock, join us. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you, all the new people. We're on at 11 o'clock at night, normally with Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. We have a big audience usually at night. So what? Welcome. And so we will get to more interviews tonight. In terms of the radio show, is every Sunday night. Not Sunday night, Sunday morning, 11:30 to 1 at WESUFM.org. And again, I said I appreciate all the new people who are, for the first time. You too, Alicia. Join us tonight at 11 o'clock for another edition of Encounters. One to thank you. Thanks for all your gifts. If you wish to go to my Cash App and support what we do here, hey, Chris, just go to my Venmo on my Cash App link on my show here on my main page here. I may request to speak tonight about my experiences. Baby Brooklyn, One New York, we definitely would welcome that. So thank you. If you want to be a guest tonight, make sure you have all your eggs in one basket, so I know what you want to talk about. Everybody have a great day. This has been Encounters, a show that's out of this world. I'm CmdrAleon. We'll see you soon.